The following was recorded on April 7th, 2025. Please keep in mind laws, guidelines, and processes may change over time. Hello there and welcome to another episode of Ask the Italian Lawyer presented by Italiancitizenship.assistance.com as well as ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. Of course, we're back at it again with Italian attorney Marco Permunian, and I am Rafael Di Furia. And in this episode, I wanted to ask Marco the question, what is an emergency law decree in Italy?
In Italy, an emergency law decree is a type of legislation that comes directly from the government and that has the same value as the law, which is created by the parliament. So in the Italian legal system, as in many other systems, the parliament is the administrative body that is responsible for creating new laws. But in times of emergency, that power, according to the Constitution, is transferred to the government, which has the ability, again, in emergency situations, to issue law decrees to regulate situations of emergency. Now, there's been a lot of debates as to whether the government has used properly this instrument, this tool, because sometimes it almost looks like the situation was really not a situation of emergency and the parliament had the time to regulate such situation, but the government decided to act anyway. Regardless, when the government chooses to regulate an emergency situation through an emergency decree, on the same day, they have to submit to the Italian parliament a request for the decree itself to be converted into law. And if the parliament doesn't convert the decree into law within 60 days, the decree does not go into effect retroactively. So basically, it's like it never existed. And of course, it's also possible for the Italian parliament to make changes to a decree when they convert the decree into law. And furthermore, it's also possible for the parliament to choose not to convert a decree into law. An emergency law decree is different from a legislative decree, in Italian decreto legislativo, which is also a type of legislation that comes from the government. However, in the case of the legislative decree, it is the parliament that gives the government the power to regulate a specific situation. And normally the parliament decides to give such power to the government under the Constitution because the situation presents a certain complexity that would make it very hard for the parliament to elaborate new legislation to regulate that specific situation. So it's easier for the government, which is made of fewer people, to regulate that specific situation. So in the case of the legislative decree, the parliament gives the government specific guidelines, which the government needs to respect. And according to the Italian Constitution, if the government goes beyond the guidelines that they received from the parliament, the Italian Constitutional Court can basically revoke a legislative decree made by the government.
Well, thank you so much, Marco, for getting into this topic. And of course, if you are interested in more like this, be sure that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, as well as the audio-only podcast. But of course, if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, that means you're also automatically subscribed to the Italian Citizenship podcast, the Italian Real Estate podcast, as well as Ask the Italian Lawyer. But of course, we've been here again with Italian attorney Marco Permunian. I'm Rafael Di Furia. Stay safe and healthy out there, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you.
Thank you.